This is the World News on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Good afternoon. I am MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Here are the top stories. NLC demands new retirement age for workers. Governor Abiodun says 13 billion naira workers deduction paid. NAFDAC begins market surveillance over cancer-laden Indomie noodles. In business, Edo State Governor raises alarm over possible government inability to pay salary beyond. Away from that, on the foreign scene, government on brink of giving NHS staff 5% pay rise. In sports, Iwobi scores as struggling Everton owed Leicester to away draw. Details of this and more coming up shortly. Welcome back. Now the news in details. As workers around the world celebrate this year's May Day, organized labor in Nigeria have called on the government to review the retirement age for all public servants from 60 to 65 years and from 35 years to 40 years of service. The president of Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajaro, made the call on Monday during the 2023 Workers' Day celebrations held at Eagle Square, Abuja. He said that extension of years of service should go around as it had been done in other sectors of the public service in the country. Only a few other establishments, including the core civil service, are now left out. The NLC president also called for a general review of core civil servant salaries to narrow the gap between other civil servant emoluments and those in other segments of public service. Also speaking, President of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, lamented the state of the nation's economy, which he claimed was operating an autopilot and barely surviving. In attendance at the event were the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who represents President Muhammadu Buhari, Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, and the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Hallen, among others. President-elect Bola Tinubu has called for better understanding and cooperation from workers as he took reins of office from May 29, 2023. Tinubu, in a statement addressed to Nigerian workers on the celebration of May Day on Monday, noted that tough decisions will be made in the days ahead. The president-elect said he is a co-laborer and ally to workers in the fight for social and economic justice. The former governor of Lagos said he would always fight for workers, adding that they will have more than minimum wage. Still on the Workers' Day celebration, Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, has disclosed that his administration has paid the sum of 13 billion naira out of the 19 billion naira global deductions owed to the public servants in the state. The governor, who equally disclosed that his administration has paid 88.92 billion naira as pension for the state and local government retirees to date, assured that the outstanding of 6 billion naira global deductions would be paid in the coming months. The governor gave this disclosure while addressing workers and members of the trade unions at the celebration of the 2023 Workers' Day held at the MKO Abiola International Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta. Emphasizing on the theme of the event, workers' rights and socio-economic rights, Abiodun noted that his administration understood workers' plight and was working towards addressing them. Governor Abiodun said his government has paid a sum of 4.1 billion naira as gratuities for both state and local government retirees, just as the minimum monthly pay from pensioners in the state had been increased from 500 naira to 10,000 naira. The Ogun State Chairman of Trade Union Congress, Akim Lasisi, urged the state government to put labor issues at the front burner. On the spot, the state chairman, of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ahmed Benko, called on the state government to implement the 40% increment to the state workers as done by the federal government. Highlight of the celebration was the march past by various trade workers and unions in the state. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, said it will begin random sampling of Indomie noodles, including the seasoning from the production facilities today. This follows the report of the recalling of Indomie noodles by Taiwan and Malaysia authorities over the discovery of ethylene oxide, a cancer-causing agent. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, stated this in a press statement on Monday. The NAFDAC boss reaffirmed that the importation of Indomie noodles into the country was already banned by the government. The investigation panel set up by the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has invited the suspended resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa, Udu Yunusa Ari. The panel invited Yunusa Ari over his conduct during the April 15 governorship rerun election in Adamawa State. The investigative panel, which is headed by Assistant Inspector General of Police and Head of Interpol in Nigeria, AIG Garba Umar, invited Yunusa Ari to show up at the force headquarters in Abuja. Confirming the invitation of the REC on Monday, spokesperson of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, Fumi, said the REC will appear before officials of INEC, Department of State Services, DSS, and Nigeria Police Force. Troops of the 114 Task Force Battalion of the Nigerian Army say they have rescued one of the Chibok schoolgirls abducted by a sergeant in 2014. The rescued girl, identified as Awa Maltha, was said to have been found on April 21 alongside her 3-year-old child during the operation at Lagara village in Borno State. Maltha was said to have married one Salman, a cameraman to Ibrahim Shekau, the late Boko Haram leader, while in captivity, and later married one Malam Mohammed in Gubara village and had 2 children with him. At the time of her rescue, Maltha was reportedly 8 months pregnant. She is undergoing medical examination alongside a baby, after which she will be handed over to the state government. You are listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come, business, foreign and sports. Stay with us. Welcome back to the rest of the news. In business and economic news, Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, says the federal government may not be able to pay workers' salary beyond June without massively printing money or removing petrol subsidy. Speaking on Monday at the Workers' Day celebration in Bini, the capital of Edo, Obaseki said Nigerians and workers in particular would face hardship if the government decides on any of the options. He called for concerted effort in ensuring that workers alone do not bear the brunt of the effect of possible subsidy removal by June this year. On the foreign scene, the government is expected to agree to give NHS staff in England their 5% pay increase at a key meeting later today. Government and NHS officials will meet representatives from 13 NHS unions covering all staff except for doctors and dentists at lunchtime. The unions will declare whether a majority of the workforce are in favor of the deal, which also includes a one-off lump sum. More than 20,000 Russian soldiers have been killed and fighting in Ukraine since December, the U.S. estimates. A further 80,000 have been wounded, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said, citing newly declassified intelligence. Half of the dead are from the Wagner Machinery Company, who have been attacking the eastern Bakhmut city. In the world of sport, Nigeria international Alex Iwobi was on target for relegation, threatening Everton, who held Leicester to a 2-2 draw at the King Power in Monday's Premier League game. Compatriots Wilfred Ndidi was in action for Leicester before going off for Paston Daka on 61 minutes. It was Iwobi's first goal since October 2022 and also his second league strike this season. The draw leaves Everton in 19th place on 29 points and just 1 point from safety, while Leicester are 16th on 30 points. Still in sports, Mikel Arteta has insisted Arsenal are still contenders for the Premier League title despite slipping from the top of the table at the weekend. Arteta's men were replaced at the summit by Manchester City following the Champions 2-1 win at Fulham on Sunday. City now lead the Gunners by a point with a game in hand after winning 8 successive league matches as they eye a 5th title in 6 years. Arsenal, by contrast, have stumbled in recent weeks, taking just 3 points from their last 4 fixtures. Arsenal face London rival Chelsea today at the Emirates. To end the world news, a quick recap of the major stories. We reported that NLC demanded new retirement age for workers. Governor Abiodun said 13 billion naira workers deduction paid. In business, we reported that Edo State Governor raised alarm over possible government inability to pay salary beyond June. On the foreign scene, we also reported the government on brink of giving NHS staff 5% pay rise. And in sport, it will be scored as struggling Everton held Leicester to away draw. The World News was edited and produced by Oluwafisayomi Ajibola. For more news and updates, you can follow us on social media at www.facebook.com/Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, on Twitter at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and on Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. You can also stream live on our website www.Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Thank you so much for listening. I am MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Good afternoon.